Hello and welcome to the Banter Blitz show, and I'm going to switch quickly to the game window because we're a little bit late and I don't want to delay it anymore. I don't know who exactly did I accept now. Cthulhu. Okay, so what is Cthulhu up to? I played a Sicilian earlier, which was kind of entertaining. I should really do that. Maybe I should actually in this session play a little bit differently to what I usually do, just to have different positions. The open Spanish, it's not a bad opening at all. The open Spanish, that is also something that you could easily, what the heck, that you could easily base a repertoire on. Yeah, I know this is the famous move that Karpov played against Korchnoi, and that is also what Kasparov played against Anand in 1995. But that's all I know, that this is a move, but I don't know any details. If I take it, there is Queen F3, that is the point, but I don't know. Yeah, at least he's not like immediately firing moves. That's kind of good. So it's not like Bishop D5. Not like Bishop D5 is a complete lemon, it seems. But I have no clue about this. Now, what is White going to do now? It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't look too bad from Black's perspective. I think I will just play Bishop B7 and Castle, and my central control is pretty nice. That looks very reasonable. No, it wasn't just a free knight. If I take this, I know that if I take here, he's got Queen F3, and somehow this is okay for White, or good for White, but that's all I know. Maybe actually you can take and it's okay. I really, I mean, yeah, not my area of expertise. Just going to take this, and now can I go to, just trying to use the king on E6. Trying to use it actively in the center. Now that is an odd move. Not sure if knight g5 is a threat, but and now do we play a4 here? Yeah, I guess I do. Pawn is quickly. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can take on b4 actually. Yeah, it's probably okay. No, I didn't challenge Magnus on Sunday. What did I do on Sunday? It's a good question. Probably sleeping. Something like that. Yeah, now it kind of backfires that all those pawns have moved forward as g4 is hanging with check and b4 also was undefended. Yeah, you can take on c4 and destroy my pawn structure, but the resulting position should be very preferable for black. I just push all the pawns forward. Yeah, that's probably a simple recipe. It cannot really take. And if he moves the rook away, I'm going to play b3. Now, rook d6 is just a check, not more. And Cthulhu resigns. Yeah, thanks for the game, Cthulhu. I really don't know the opening. I just wanted to briefly show... where was that? I'm pretty certain that if I take this, then this move is the thing. Or is the issue. I really don't know what happens after this. Probably knight e4, yeah? Wow, I have no clue, sorry. Anyway, thanks for the game, Cthulhu. Trogdor. Okay, I said that I wanted to do something a bit non-standard, so I'm going to play in a bit of a non-standard way. I usually have mostly played my d4 repertoire in recent shows, but let's do something else. This kind of attacking scheme can be extremely dangerous. If you get f5, bishop h6 in, that's really dangerous. What is Trogdor trying to do? You probably... not really. I was trying to argue that you should somehow move the knight and play f5 or so, but it's not easy to do. The beauty of this white setup is the simplicity. You just hack away on the f-file. Oh wow. Now the pin on f6 is some interesting facts here by Schellingford. The pronunciation of Cthulhu, I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that I'm not doing it right, but who knows what the right way is. Now here, I know that the positioning of this bishop is going to be a big issue. It is very close. Queen takes h5, I mean, it's very close to being possible. And this is definitely going to be a big problem for black. Yeah, queen takes h7 mate. Not very subtle, but mate is mate is mate. He basically has to play h5, after which I think I'm simply going to take it, and that is completely dead, as f takes g6 is such a serious threat. Okay. Now, can we get in some kind of... I would like to find a cool mate here. This is actually a nice one. Let's do this. Rook g8, queen g6 check. Isn't actually a mate. Okay. Queen g6 here. Takes. King g8. Also not a mate. Okay, so then let's get this in. If he takes it, queen f5 is going to be mate. Now queen g6. I really would like to sacrifice the queen, but I don't think I can do it. This never really work. I mean, this is a mate, but... Oh. I mean, rook g7 is mate, but... Alright, thanks for the game, Trogdor. So, who else is challenging? Ray Bellotta. Okay, let's go e4 and go for some attack. Some attacking scheme. Yeah, against c6, not so easy. Yeah, what I recently saw, it was kind of interesting. I saw that this variation, which looks completely harmless, has been played, and in fact, it's funny that engines, in particular Leader Zero, thinks that white is better, which shows that space seems to be even more important than we originally thought. I'm not certain that I'm doing this right, of course, but probably I'm not. I'm not doing it right. Anyway, let's try. Looks a bit odd. Okay, I'm shooting for f5. One potential problem for black is the lack of development. I mean, I'm clearly better developed. But on the other hand, it's not so obvious how I'm going to open this up successfully. Some kind of c4 probably. Okay. Yeah, this was my idea. Maybe this is just too primitive. Maybe it is too primitive. But anyway, I've already done f5, so no way back now. The typical problem with this is it opens the position, of course, but the drawback is often that e5 is going to be very weak, and Yeah, it doesn't seem to really be a factor here. Black is completely fine. I mean, if he is not... Maybe he finds even a better solution, but everything else fails. You can always just play queen e6. Centralize the queen, and with the tempo I don't really want to take. Yeah, this is of course fine as well. Yeah, very well played here by Ray Bellotta. Yeah, I mean, I played queen d3 without... Sorry, I mean bishop d3, bishop takes queen d3. This line without any particular background. I just recently saw that this is getting into... not getting into fashion, that's a bit too strong, but that it was played by some rather good players. Artemiev, for example. And he's one of the biggest talents at the moment, for sure. Yeah, I'm not sure, Crumbling Student, what to think of the method. I haven't looked at the videos yet. I think already last week I said that the original book by Dorfman was a bit confusing at the time when it was released. But this is a long time ago. I'm not sure that I have the book still, which is not a good sign, because I tend to sell opening books quite frequently if I think they're outdated, and often, I mean, it happens pretty quickly that they are. But I usually keep all the strategic books, like endgame books, middle game books, or unless I think they're completely useless. Yeah, I'm not certain. I don't think I have this anymore, so I probably didn't have the highest opinion. I'm not sure. I don't think I have it anymore. I knew at the time that I pretty quickly discarded it, because I didn't quite understand what the author was getting at. It was either something extremely trivial or something that I didn't understand. Yeah, what I know is that I'm probably winning the d5 pawn, and that is a big accomplishment here in this position. Ah, that's a friggin' check. How stupid is that? I can simply take. I did not pay attention here. Yeah, this is still good for white, but I didn't pay enough attention. Knight to d3 would be good, but I just can take, right? That's stupid. I can just take the pawn. Took me ages to recognize, and the black king doesn't have a single good square to go to, because I always have a check. That's a funny thing, yeah. I've had this once in a game, that if you have this situation, the king has no good squares. It's always a knight check. It's going to be like here, yeah. You had knight f3 check. Maybe you got something better, but yeah, the knight check is enough. Yeah, that's just going to be a win, I think. Now, how do we win this? Knight to d3 would be good, covers everything. Or knight here. Yeah, now knight e4 would be a trade. Yeah. But this is also very strong. Just keeping full control. Okay. How do we convert this though? Knight would be even better on e4 maybe, or it's not a clear win, so I'm going to, yeah, okay, he plays this voluntarily. I wanted to provoke the move, but it's not ideal to help him to get rid of the pawn, but I need some way to make progress. Yeah, I'm winning both pawns. And I also won on time. Okay, thanks for the game, Ray Bellotta. Now. Yeah, let's play... that's a complicated name. AGVGA. I wanted to play something different, right? Okay, so not my standard stuff, but something unconventional. I don't think that this opening nets much at all for white. But you got a little bit of an unconventional game going. Yeah, quick queen b6 could be irritating, but I don't know if long castling is a good idea. Okay, so maybe the knight to f4. Okay. No bishop b4. Yeah, it's a very weird position and not the kind of chess I usually play, and often I struggle, yeah, once we've I don't know, this one? Yeah, the show is today instead of Wednesday because tomorrow there's the start of the Grand Chess Tour in Croatia. And it would collide with the usual starting time, so we decided to switch to the Tuesday. It's a little bit, in some way, unfortunate the way my schedule is in the next couple or the next 2 weeks, because the Grand Chess Tour Croatia is played in Zagreb, in the capital of Croatia, and Zagreb is just yeah, roughly, let's say, 40-minute drive away from my usual vacation spot in Slovenia, so that would have been a good opportunity to combine my vacation with visiting the Grand Chess Tour, but it does not work out, because, which is a good thing in some way, because I have an event coming up in the first weekend of July. I'm going to be there for the weekend for an anniversary of the chess club Ortenburg in Bavaria, and I'm there for some training for simultaneous display and so on, and this is why I'm not in Slovenia at the time, so that I could visit the Grand Chess Tour. Aha, Agat Mato will show up for the Grand Chess Tour. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he lives very close, I think. Some time ago I checked where his residence is, and it's very close. I knew that he was from Croatia, and I'd always check this because, well, Slovenia is very close, so always interesting to me. And he's very close to Zagreb. Okay, so I'm trying to open up the position. I mean, the weird thing is that my opponent, AGV, it's a complicated name, is a FIDE master, but has a very low rating for a FIDE master. So it's a bit odd. And I'm really not in good shape here. Maybe I should have saved the weird openings for a bit lighter opposition. Anyway, let's see what happens. Yeah, here I'm going to... The weakness on c4 is very annoying. Maybe I can get something to c5 as well. Miktal asks that there are many complaints that classical chess has become boring because of all the draws. 3 points for a win and only 1 point for a draw. Yeah, this is one of my pet peeves. I completely hate the idea. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense to me why a draw should be a bad thing in comparison. Like 2 draws should equal a win. Everything else makes no sense to me. And it also doesn't help at all. It will not change the draw rate in the slightest bit. I mean, I'm on the record anyway that I think that classical chess is dying a slow death and will be replaced by rapid and blitz. And it's just a matter of time. People will always play classical because there are always people who think that you should do the same thing every single time, everything should never change and so on. This is just typical attitude that many people have. But honestly, it's just I mean, if you ask people what is the last time that you voluntarily, let's say at your chess club, played a game that was not blitz or rapid, the answer will be probably never, because nobody voluntarily plays such a long game. Yeah, they simply don't. You play blitz, you play rapid maybe, but you would never like ask a clubmate, hey, let's play a classical game 4 hours, you're up, buddy? And the answer will be never. You absolutely never do that, because it makes no sense. It's just too much time, too long time. And I think this will, over time, I think this will simply happen. People simply will see that there's no point in sitting there for 6 hours. I think we will at least get to the point where we reduce what we call classical to something like 3 hours or so. That is something that will, I think, very likely happen. And I personally would welcome that, because I don't really think there's much point in sitting there for so long. And it's not about quality. This is a common misconception, because if you if you watch games and you see what people spend time on, it's usually for decisions that are easily played. Yeah, I didn't accept a draw because I felt I can maybe play c4 at some point, but I can never do that probably. Yeah, thanks for the game. Yeah, it's difficult. Alejandro Gonzalez Vega. It's probably a draw, but I felt I could do something, so I didn't accept the draw. To be perfectly clear, I don't really criticize anybody for playing the long games. If you enjoy them, play them. I mean, absolutely. There's nothing wrong about your attitude. I just think that this is something that will, over time, will not sustain. It's just what I think. Which doesn't make it right or wrong, or it's just a matter of what you prefer to do. Yeah, I think you're right. It was certainly a very drawish position. I thought that again c4 could be done, but I don't think this was the case. Yeah, I don't think that it would like giving 3 points for a win or these kind of things. That just doesn't make any sense to me. And it won't change things. It's just like chess is inherently drawish, and the level of play is just getting better and better, and it's difficult to win simply. So it's not like people don't try. It's just that it's sometimes difficult to get somewhere. Yeah, and what I believe is simply if you have shorter time controls, you will very likely, because there are more games that can be played, you will have you will have a little bit more risk involved, because people know that they've got more you've got more opportunities to correct, let's say, games that went wrong. Yeah, I don't think the quality of the games is going down all that much if you shorten the time control. People often, especially if you look at like normal games, I'm not talking World Championship level games, people spend time in ridiculous positions, like e4, e5. They spend 3 minutes on knight f3. I've seen that a lot. Or they just have a normal opening position and they spend time for the most normal moves ever, and it's I see. I mean, if you give a normal like amateur player a week to think and Magnus 2 minutes to think, Magnus will still win. And also I would still win probably. You don't need Magnus for that. Like people think that if you have like double the time, you're playing like to 200 points better or 400 points better. That's just not the case. It just isn't the case. Well, I'm ranting. I'm playing a very weird game here, and I'm probably in bad shape. That was a good move. My position sucks. To make it very much clear. Pretty awful position. Wow. Yeah, I kind of... Yeah, I think, of course, the playing level is higher in classical. There's absolutely no debate, but I don't think the difference is that much that it warrants to sit there for 5 hours. In particular, if you see that people spend lots of time on decisions that are no decisions, like just playing some developing moves in the opening, for example. You know, I see that time and time and again. Like German youth championships, people, they play their standard openings and they think for minutes on if they play, oh, a Sicilian, what do I play now? You just play those moves quicker, people. I mean, there's no big secret that, I mean, you just play your stuff and then, yeah, get on with life, yeah, and get on with the game. It's really, there is no point in spending so much time on opening moves that you can learn beforehand, for example. And it will largely benefit players who work harder before the game, because you need to be better in the ending, you need to know the things and not figure them out over the board. I don't know, I see many advantages simply if you play quicker games. You just get more games in. Like, for example, if you look at team matches, I think this is a huge thing. If you play a team match, you play one game, and maybe you have a bad game and you lose the game and you have a complete day wasted and you don't even get the chance to correct a bad game. If you play 2 games, why not play 2 games? That would be much better, I think, from what I believe is. What is Kottov's syndrome? No, I'm not aware of that. Maybe I know the concept, but not the name. Yeah, one thing that is also underestimated for the top level is that nowadays, and I think I said the same thing last week, is that what is often underestimated is that in fact they nowadays have more time than ever, because the theory is so well developed that they can dash out 10-15 moves, and in fact they have more time per move because the theory is far deeper developed. And this is something that also is very rarely discussed. Nowadays they have more time than ever, really. Compare it to older, let's say, games in the 1920s or so, when they had to invent the whole opening over the board because they had no theory. Somebody like Lasker basically invented everything over the board. Yeah. Okay, so Kotov syndrome is you run out of time and then you make a move you didn't, the move that you didn't think about all that much. It's difficult. It's a difficult thing. I think, it's hard for me to give some advice based on my own games because I'm typically a very fast player, so I rarely get into time trouble. And let me think. I have to think about the game for a moment. Yeah, it's a bit odd. If I play Queen B3, it's going to play Rook D2. Maybe this one. Yes, switch trade this. Huh? Cannot cover the pawn. I'm not sure if d5 is right, but I don't really have that much time. I've got 30 something seconds, so I'm just going to be quick about it. Yeah, that's probably difficult to win because he's so active. And I've got 20 seconds, which is a problem. Rook b8 cannot be played. That's a little trick. And I needed some trick because of the time. It's still going to be difficult with 15 seconds. h4 is a very unlucky move, of course. A bit of a pre-move thing. Yeah, he can actually play rook e5. Okay. I've got 4 seconds. This is the problem here with increment. He can even win the game, which is ridiculous. Win the game on time. Okay. Yeah, that actually saved me. Otherwise I would have lost on time. Okay, now, thanks for the game, M. Lauer. And now let's see, who is on? Chess 24 Dan, it's a new opponent. Okay, now. Yeah, the thing is, he got a fortress because of my h4 pre-move, and that was a thing. Otherwise, I think that should be a fairly easy win with the queen. Okay, it's a bit odd white setup. It's not very challenging. f4 now, a big threat. Yeah, Kotov's book, yeah, Think Like a Grandmaster. I think this is one of the books that somehow got lost in my collection. I mean, I've had this, of course, but it got somehow, I don't have it anymore. Probably lent it to somebody and never got it back. It's one of the books that you probably should have just for historic reasons. And probably there is the odd, a good sample or good training position in there. That looks weird. Like I should be able to do something there, but I don't see what. Weird. There was no tactic probably. Maybe he's got g4 now. Ouch. I don't think he should have allowed that. Got d3 next. Or simply this one. Yeah, out for bishop f5. Let's trade this thing. I didn't read the interview. There's talk about an interview where Magnus explained his thought process during a game. I didn't read it, but it seems to be interesting, or it sounds like an interesting piece to read. Yeah, now my pawns should do the job. Ready for e2 now. Puh. Oh, part of the interview is in Norwegian. That's a bit of a hurdle. My Norwegian is a bit rusty. All right, thanks for the game, Chess24 Dan. Okay, now who is on? I think VG difficult. We tried to play in the German show already, but I think he was not on at the time, so I'm going to try this again. So got a Nimzo-Indian, and I definitely need more water. Okay, water. And now play knight c6, the Zurich variation. Or Züricher Variante, which is probably the right way to do it. All right, yeah, this looks rather harmless. For black, got e5 coming up soon, but of course white is extremely solid, so it's no reason to complain for white either. Yeah, the thing is with these like how thought processes work, I often have the impression that I mean, just without any scientific background, of course, that usually chess players don't really have a clearly defined thought process. They just like know what's right based on patterns, and the main job is to identify exceptions from those patterns. This is often, I think, what happens. In particular, if the positions is actually rather, more of a strategic one. If it's a tactical one, you're just going to go for move-by-move calculation. But if it's a position that is slowish, I think you mostly define exceptions for, let's say, exceptions to patterns. Yeah. Because usually you have a pretty quick idea what's going on in a position, at least roughly, as a strong player. And if you watch Magnus do Banter Blitz, and he does a really good job, I think, there, you see how quickly he grasps the essentials of the position. Yeah, I'm going to do this till midnight CET, so for roughly 35 minutes to go. Something like that. Yeah, I think this is the normal thing, that Magnus does not know what his brain does. He simply sees this. That is very normal. So here I'm not really doing all that much besides keeping the pawn structure. I have the better pawn structure and just want to keep it like that. It's not easy because white has this very strongly placed bishop. It's not very easy to make any headway. I could have taken a4. I should do that now. This is just too good to not take. Yeah, and now c6 traps the bishop. He's got rook a1. I've got bishop c2. Yeah, that should be very good. Yeah, I should win the c-pawns. At least one. And that should be enough. Could have taken f4 with check, but this is very harmonious. Many pawns now. Too many pawns. Oh. Oh, I didn't see that. What did I see there? That was odd. I thought g2 was tagged, which is not the case. Okay, now I think I can just push the pawns home, and white lost on time. Thanks for the game, VG Ura Nafan. Very difficult name. Okay. Now, Emil Josef Dima, probably. I probably get the Black Medina Gambit now. Sorry for being a little bit tired. Now, is there anything funky that I could do against this? Probably not. Okay, this is at least an interesting opening. Yeah, having an easy name is helpful for Banter Blitz. It is a bit late already in Germany, of course, but the problem is not so much the time of day, but the hot weather, which sends me to, yeah, which is difficult for me always. Like last night, I mean, at roughly 4 in the morning, I got up and simply couldn't sleep anymore because the room was so hot. And then you're really down to just a couple of hours, which is not enough. Yeah, white is in good shape here. Could probably play bishop to g5 here. Yeah, white is perfectly fine. Yeah, I expected that. Now we've got an ending which is probably equalish. But maybe I have some ideas. Yeah, this is a really very substantial difference between the US and Germany. Air conditioning in private places, like in homes, is very unusual. In particular, if you've got somewhat older buildings like the one that I live in, it's often just a bad insulation, so you yeah, that's true. We didn't have that much hot summers. Yeah, this is just nothing. Nothing at all. I can invade with the king. It shouldn't really work, but you can always try. Nope. Okay. Yeah, it's still absolutely nothing, of course. I should be... Okay. Now he's allowing me to fix a pawn on a dark square. That is a smallish, very smallish victory. But it doesn't really help. Aha. Another pawn on a dark square. I mean, I have to be a little bit cautious that I'm not running into some friggin' mate here. Oh, wow, really? How do you save the pawn? Well, I guess he doesn't. He just gave me a pawn. That was nice. I'm not sure, namesake, that this is probably done better with some examples. I mean, it's a different kind of it is a different kind of position. You have different position types, what I'm trying to say, in d4 than with e4, and I'm not sure that abstract and they're just different features, I would say, in d4 positions compared to e4 positions. So it just takes a bit more experience also to see why something is a bit better and something is not. Yeah, now I'm promoting my f-pawn. It was a tough ending, which was of course completely equal at the very beginning, but somehow I got a little bit of something when you play g4. Now, yeah, let's play namesake. Yeah, I can try my d4 repertoire against you. Oh. The Dutch. Yeah, Leningrad Dutch is an interesting opening. It's one of the certainly one of the better tries to get. How do I play here? C4 to get a complicated game. I mean. Now, in any kind of, almost any kind of, could have taken on d5 actually, kind of stonewall, and this is a stonewall. Getting the knights to d3 and f3 is a key feature. I mean, this is something that is kind of basic positional stuff in d4, but when I researched my d4 repertoire book, I was pretty amazed how strong this usually is. If white gets the knights to d3 and f3, you just have a complete, almost complete grip in the stone wall. So my usual recommendation is to just don't do anything else, get the knights to d3 and f3, and then you're going to be okay and go from there. Like here I can go queen e2, knight fe5, f3, and black is just going to be worse. In some way worse, not like terribly bad or anything, but you're going to have an advantage for sure. Now, knight f4 or knight c5? Knight f4 maybe. Yeah. Attacking all kinds of things. G6, f7, sorry, G6, E6. Bishop f7 looks like it has to be played. And I know that this looks odd because I'm taking a bishop that doesn't look all that strong, but I want to immediately go for punishment here in the center. Yeah, the knights are strong on d3 and f3 because you've got those grip on e5. And this is just very, very important. And here g6 looks like it's almost collapsing. Looks pretty awful. Okay. All right. No, I've never played the Grob, of course. That is the worst opening move, 1g4. And of course, yeah, sometimes, like if you say like Magnus won some games with it in Bullet or something, of course, that's possible, but the Grob 1g4 is just pretty awful. The thing is with an opening like the Grob, it's so bad that people really never look at it and have no clue what to do. And I mean, of course, you don't really need to study lots of theory to, I mean, you shouldn't study lots of Grob theory, but if you know something and have looked at something, then yeah, black's position becomes really unbearable. I've analyzed this, in fact, once in a video on my YouTube channel, and the best possible way to play is just killing black. g4, d5. I can show you quickly. Even the name is awful. I don't really think you can judge the name. I mean, the person, it's just the name, right? Grob. And he was probably quite a character. I think he was married 8 times. Henry Grob, the inventor of this opening. No, I'm not playing the Grob. Thanks for the game namesake. The Grob is 1g4. And you should play d5. And now white should probably play h3. Which most people don't do. After h3, you played e5, and black is just better, obviously. Yeah? You have a big center, white has weakened the king side. Many people, however, do play this move, hoping that after this, c4, that after something like, yeah, they hope for tricks, like, I don't know, stuff like this, wins the bishop, yeah? But the problem is that after c4, black can simply take the pawn, bishop d7, knight d7, give up the exchange, and after this is clearly better. And this is terrible for white. Yeah, black is simply playing knight f6, knight here, bishop e6, bishop c5. You have a fantastic compensation for the exchange, and you will kill white probably. Now, let's play the next game. Mr. Fluffington is challenging me. However, the line that I just showed is not commonly known, because, I mean, who looks at the Grob? But I once did, because I did a video series on how to fight offbeat openings on my YouTube channel, and then I checked, okay, what is best against 1g4, and this is what I found out. Mr. Fluffington is somehow not very much a friend of his d4 square. I don't think you should play like this once the bishop is on c5. This looks dangerous for white, to say the least. Yeah, it's a bit of a Botvinnik system, but you know, it looks pretty awful. Pretty awful. And Now I know it's a very cheap trick, but maybe he's playing rook f1. Then I have bishop h3. Yeah, it's a very cheap trick. No, I don't think there is a German opening, but the two knights defense to the Italian, yeah, this is sometimes called the Prussian, I think, defense, which is not exactly German but close. I once read that yeah, there's of course the Berlin, but I read that it would make sense to rename the French to the German because there were so many German players who contributed to it. In particular, of course, Wolfgang Ullmann comes to mind. He's one of the biggest. What is my mouse doing? My mouse is acting up. Very weird. I have a high. Okay. You know what I think? Probably everything is overheating here. That could happen. It's so hot. Yeah, I'm irritated by the whole thing. It's very good, of course, for me, but without the weird issues, the game probably could have been over already. Yeah, I think there is a point, yeah, with the French defense being very much influenced by German players. Wolfgang Ullmann is one example, but there are even some more that are a little bit less famous, but still had quite a bit of profound influence on the opening. But the Berlin is the most famous line that has some relation to Germany. Yeah, now on e5, this is just simply stopping all kinds of counterplay ideas for black, and now the pawns should just smoothly win the game by pushing forward. Yeah, just going to threaten to promote. Talking about the French defense, I think it was very funny that like 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, I was at the German Youth Championships, and I had absolute pleasure to do the commentary on site and for online, and one of my partners with the commentary was Artur Yusupov, Russian-German chess legend, and it was quite funny that we had 1 or 2 French games to discuss, and I mean, if you know my games a little bit and my commentary, that I have a kind of a love-hate relationship with the French defense. I cannot really play it well, but yeah, anyway, so it is funny that I was in the booth there with Artur, because his games, like even very old games from the late 80s were one reason why I picked up the French, because I was always fascinated by his strategic struggles with the opening. It was always very interesting to study, and this was one motivation for me to pick it up. But it was funny to do the commentary together with him and looking at some French positions. Actually, it was fun. Yeah, now here White's idea is to push e4 next, and I think it should work. Yeah, now c5 is a possibility. I have forgotten, of course, my preparation. c5, e4, e4. Pick on the wing is the opponent's name. That's a cool name. Pick on the wing. Don't really know what this name, what it means. What is a pick on the wing? No, I don't play Crazy House. It's not even possible on Chess24, I think. So I think this is part of my d4 repertoire, what I analyzed, and I think White was a bit better, but I'm not certain about knight c4, if this is the right moment in particular. But Black is kind of uncoordinated. Yeah, pick on the wing would be when pigs fly, but when exactly do pigs fly? What is the background story of pigs flying? Now, yeah, I'm going to go a5. I'm a bit unsure about this, but I'm going to play it. Maybe just double here. Not sure if this is really the right way to do it. I'm definitely okay here, but I don't really think I've got much. And I should have something, because that wasn't a great line for Black. My idea is here f4, and then maybe queen e2. If he takes it, knight takes, I'm definitely a lot better. At knight d6 is a threat, and so on. That's going to be a problem. And what is he playing actually? It's not so easy. Even after king f8, you can think about just simply taking. Okay, didn't happen. So d6 for queen e7, or just taking on b7. Now, queen e7, yeah, can be played. I can take a5, maybe. No, I've got knight d5 then, I think. Knight d5. Knight d5. Yeah, let's do it. Let's not think for ages. If he takes, I'm a piece up. I can take e8 with check. Or I can even promote then. Yeah, now I can take on f6, take on c6. He's got this check on a1, which is annoying. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to do that. I don't play many competitive tournaments now, and a main reason is, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not really so much into the long time control games. Now I can check first or play d7 first. d7 is checking me on a1. I can check, king to f3. And then I can escape all the way to h4. It should work. No, all the way to h4. And I'm safe on h4, I think. Yeah, it's just a promotion. Not much that black can do. h4 is perfectly safe. If he goes like f5 check, I just go to h4. Or queen d1 check, king h4. Yeah, and he resigned. Alright, so one more game maybe. If we get a 3-minute game, I'm going to play that. No. So if you challenge me to 2 or 3 minutes, I will gladly take this challenge for the final game of this session. Alright, Schelling, let's do it. We're both probably, yeah, completely exhausted. So let's do it. Okay, now how do we get to the H file and checkmate? It's not going to be that easy. Chess generally isn't. But yeah, you can try. Yeah, it's got bishop e3 coming. It's not all that nice. Well, I'm not quite sure what the best way for white to play is, but it's definitely going to be good for him. Okay, this is hanging. Okay. This is also hanging. I wonder if you can actually take on b7. Okay. Now, okay, e5 is attacked. Queen h7 doesn't really do much, unfortunately. Anyway, I need a play move. Now, it's really not good here. It's not good at all. Yeah, I mean, I want to use the H file, but how do we ever use any pieces? I have to probably do this here. Nah, it's just a very bad position. It was just too bad an opening for this kind of opponent. Okay. I'm not sure that this was best. Okay. I mean, white is still better, but maybe he had something stronger even. It was very much possible. Wow, okay. So I've gotten a pawn back at least. I can't go knight g4. I got no time. Shit. Sorry. I never looked at the time. I never did. And now the game is essentially over. I never looked at the time. Not a little bit even. Yeah, okay, I should never lose this, but I had 20 seconds or whatever when I first looked. Something like that is probably a draw, but okay, I just did never look at the clock. Okay, anyway, I think it was a cool... It's 40-40 now, yeah? So he's finally caught up in that pretty long... match. Okay guys, thanks a lot for watching the show. I'll be back next week, exactly the same time, so it will be the next Tuesday at 9 in the evening Central European time for the German show, and then 90 minutes later the English language show. Yeah, make sure to join. Till then, bye bye.